You know, you see these pictures, right? You see these pictures and you're like, oh, looks like a normal guy. He, you know, looks like your average guy. He's got a nice little honest face on him. You know, there can't be anything bad about this dude. Not until you like start digging down into who this guy is, what family he comes from. And then breaking. And then from here on is I'd be expecting down to the 60s like that. If the meat of the 3 and 6 months got contacted, this is what I'd be expecting. Like, I mean, you could take shorts up here, okay? You could take shorts up here, and that's the problem with counter trend trading. And we have a section in level 3 under video lessons, counter trend trading, but there isn't any video lesson in there at this point. The reason being is because it really does depend on the circumstances in the market. That the key is to understand the context of what price is doing, where it's hitting. That is the important thing. The price action on that chart, because you could take counter trend trades from these highs here if, you know, just a monthly area of supply was being contacted, and if that monthly area was not embedded inside a 6 and a 3 month. Because once it's embedded in a 6 or 3 month, to trade it as if only the monthly were in play, you're making a big assumption, and that assumption can come back and bite you hard, because the assumption you're making is only a monthly force is in play, and therefore it should react like this, and a momentum shift on a daily chart should be sufficient. Yeah, you could get a momentum shift on a daily chart, but it may not be sufficient. You may get that momentum shift, price rallies up into that area of supply, sits there for a bit, you get into a short position, maybe it works in your favor a little bit, and then guess what? It shifts momentum back to the upside. Why? Because a higher time frame supply is actually in play. And the only sustainable move to the downside would be taking place on at least a weekly chart. So you got to be careful with situations like that. Yes, it can work. Yes, a short-term drop from here could work, okay? But would I be interested in shorting? No, I wouldn't be interested in shorting, not yet. So I'm going to watch and see what happens. Like I said, the headlines will be very interesting to see how things unfold. We do know for a fact that there were estimates for $100, okay, when price was here. And so, you know, as we said, yeah, they'll probably toss something out there to lure people in. And, you know, this $100 estimate or this $100 forecast, that's just so that people see, oh, okay, they're right sometimes. It's like going to a casino, right? If you lost every single time, you'd never put the money in. But if you see that there's legitimacy to some of it, you're going to be chasing after that. So the move up to 100, you know, that was after they already got in, right? That was after they got in. So they don't care if you get in here and ride that little bump up. You know, they don't care about that. They'll give you some scraps. The thing is that once it gets up there, you know, you're still expecting it to go up here. Now we're hitting monthly supply. 100 is above monthly supply, nested within the 3 months, 6 months. And remember what I was saying. What I know to be true about the markets is that if price is not trending, and we have a situation like we do currently have, where we're in ranging, what typically happens is price will continue higher to hit the meat of the supply on those higher time frames, which tells me that the odds are price is going to go up here. to that area. Okay, that's what that tells me. So if we take a look, I don't see a clear distals there. Where's the... So 100 takes you, the forecast of 100 takes you into the meat of that supply. Okay, so if you're going along the forecast of price hitting 100, yeah, I would say the odds of that are very good. Okay, but then they also made a forecast of 125, which is on the opposite side of this major area of supply. Now, to trade options, if you wanted to trade options, what you could do is when price gets up here to that $100 area, you would want to sell call options, okay? Which you would make money as long as price doesn't continue higher, and or price just consolidating at these highs. Because once price hits this area of supply, it's just going to sit there for a while until it starts to shift its momentum to the downside. Knowing that there's a very, very high probability that price will never make it above 108. Extremely high probability. Like, this is one of those times where when you look at the charts, I remember one time just looking at charts and I'm like, what is the highest probability? If there's anything that happens in the markets, what is the highest probability? If you have to like put on a trade, if you were given like, $100 million and you had to put on the highest quality trade, what is the highest probability? And so I was looking at the charts and studying them. I'm like, okay, what's the highest probability? And my conclusion was trading off of monthly zones that were at the peak or the valley of price. Okay. If you traded and opened up positions at monthly supply zones, short positions at monthly supply zones that were at the peak of price, those were the highest probability. If you went long at monthly demand zones that were in valleys, those were the highest probability. Because never did I see those zones just get removed without having the higher, putting things into context and realizing, well, that monthly demand zone got taken out because a 6-month supply was right above it and it was forcing price down. When those dynamics are not in play, monthly zones are like the highest probability. So very unlikely, very, very, very unlikely price heads higher than 108. But if price hits 100 and you're like, well, they were right about that, now they're saying 125, you're going to get a lot of traders that are going to be hungry to buy oil in between this 100 and 108. And why not? If you think it's going to go to 125, that's a big rally. But a lot of people are going to be hurt by this. Big trap. Big trap. So yeah, any questions on where we stand with oil? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you see this guy? You see these pictures, right? You see these pictures and you're like, oh, looks like a normal guy. He looks like your average guy. He's got a nice little honest face on him. There can't be anything bad about this dude. Not until you like start digging down into who this guy is, what family he comes from, where he got his money, what is he involved in. This is a co-founder of Facebook. Remember I told you this is one of his other projects, is this company, Asana. And so it was brought to my attention that this guy is buying up shares like crazy. Okay. And again, you think to yourself, oh, these guys, they got emotional intelligence like you wouldn't believe, because to be spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, you got to be really damn sure that your company's going to be successful. Um, yes, okay. When you're part of a group of people who practically own all the major businesses, okay, and the media that can pump your business, and all the other businesses that are going to be using your services, of course you're going to be investing, big time in your own company, because you know for a fact it's going to succeed. Okay. It's not he's going to start this business and it's like, oh, it was a flop. Yeah, because this other business came in and they took their ideas and they took all the market share, so now this company's not doing well. That's not going to happen here. Okay. Not with this guy involved in this company, because he serves a purpose. This company serves a purpose. They wouldn't be putting this guy and his efforts in this business if it didn't serve a purpose. Okay. This guy is now trying to multiply his wealth by investing all his, not all his, but like, look how much money he's invested in this business. Okay. All this buying that's taking place. Look, trade date October 1st, 2021, October 5th, November 23rd, December 1st, December 6th. Okay. December 13, December 20, December 30, January 4, January 7, January 13, January 19, January 26, February 2nd. All right. So, and look at the value of this. Look at the value of these purchases every time he gets in there. You're not talking about chump change here. 50 million, 30 million, 25 million, 89 million, 81 million, 97 million, 73 million. You think this dude, if he was just from a normal family, you think this guy would have this money at his age? No, no, not possible. Wouldn't. Very, 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 very unlikely. Very. So you see how if you're part of something big that most people don't even know exists, if you're part of something big, magically success comes to you. You see how that happens? Magically, how success comes to these people. So this is why we pay attention to these companies, because you could turn your head the other way and say, no, I don't want to believe that this exists. I don't want to believe that, there's certain families that own the vast majority of corporations, the corporations that matter. I mean, they're not going to get involved in businesses that don't matter. They're only going to get involved in the businesses that matter, to produce the technology, to control the technology, to control the sciences, to control the medicines, the advancements or the lack of advancements. So when I see that this guy's involved in a company, and I look at, what this company, what function does it serve, and I am thinking about the agenda and where they're pushing things and where they're saying they want things to go, I have to think about, what would they use this company for? What would its purpose be? And I can see many purposes. I don't know 100%, obviously, what the purpose would be, but I can make assumptions. Okay. And when I see this guy investing this much money, okay, one of the members said close to 400 million right now, I'm interested. Okay. If this guy is being told, buy up shares, okay, don't worry, it's not gonna be bad. Buy up shares, and I see that it's happening, all throughout this area here. Okay, all throughout this area here. See how price dropped, and then it found support here with buying. Now you take a look; it's still above the original area where they were buying, right? Still above it, but it's pausing and buying. And if you're going to buy 400 million, you're going to have to start buying at some point when it's low. Okay, you're going to have to start buying, because if you wait until it gets all the way down here, if you want to invest $1 billion, It's going to be difficult to keep it down here investing $1 billion. So you're going to have to do it over a span of time. You're going to have to do it slowly. So that's what I see happening here, and I see it coming down to demand areas. It looks good to me, you know.